right. I think that should be working now. So hello. If there's anyone in the chat, thanks for joining us. Adventures in Lollygagging. We are going to be playing A Town Called Malice tonight. A Town Called Malice is a fun little like narrative game. It's if you've played something like Fiasco or other GMless games, this is what we're after tonight. And looks like we've already got a little. Oh, thanks for the subs. We got subs from LOL Monogatari. And then we got one from Melissa. And then Adam, thank you very much. Hey, Party Wipe, how's it going? You got any games tonight? And Ashley throwing some bits. We already got a hype train. Look at this. Thank you, everybody. It's very nice of you all to get this going. I'm totally going to need it because I am running on fumes because we had a game this morning. And it's been a long week. So, we're going to be playing Town Called Malice. It's by Monkey Fun Studios. It's a really fun little game. We've played it twice before. The book itself, it's a tiny little book. I wish I had it to show you, but I was too stupid to remember to have it. Melissa, I think, has it, though. And there's like 2 play sets in the game, and we've already played those. So we're just going to be kind of riffing tonight. So we'll see how this goes. But if you ever played a game like Fiasco before or 1,000 other different types of GM-less narrative games, that's what we're doing tonight. It's a game that kind of blends like, little small town horror and Nordic noir into one wonderful little game. And that's what we're going to do. So we don't have any characters yet. We're going to build all this kind of stuff as we're going. And if those of you that are hanging out in chat right now, thank you for those bits. You people you're so lovely. If you're in chat right now, help us out because we're going to be throwing out some ideas. Tell us what sounds cool. And then we're going to go from there. Before we get started, let me just do a quick couple of little tiny plugs about the channel. The group in the channel, starting on Monday, so a couple days from now. Every other Monday, we're going to be starting up a brand new game over on the Free League Publishing Twitch channel. We're going to be playing Things from the Flood every other week. We're going to be playing in our own little desert sandbox called Into the Dirt. And so if you want to come join us Monday night at 9 Central, you want to get in on the fun of building that sandbox because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be making characters and we're going to be building a fun little place for us to play. We also have on this channel on the alternate Mondays we play Alien, and then coming later in March, I think we decided on like March 19th or something like that. Fridays, we're going to be starting up a Delta Green campaign as well. So some fun stuff coming down the pike for everyone to enjoy. We've been off a couple weeks on the weekends, and so it's nice to finally get back to playing. All right. Thanks, Adam, for that sub. Look at this level 2 hype train. So great. Hey, Galen. Jackbox is really fun, so I totally understand it. Thanks for hanging out and giving us some of your attention. That's great. All right. So now that I got that out of the way, we don't have any characters introduced yet, so we got to kind of do this from scratch. So to refresh our memories, because it's possible that the people playing don't remember everything. The game itself is it sort of takes place in quotes a small town, right? It's a small town that's removed and it's isolated. But town, even though it's in the title of the game, is kind of a abstract concept, right? So it's not necessarily like an actual town. It could be just a remote location. So there's a bunch of random examples in the book. So it could be anything from an actual town to an island to a space station in the distant, hovering or orbiting around a moon around Jupiter or something like that, right? It could be whatever you want as long as it's isolated, because that's one of the core principles is that there's really no help from outside, because what's going to be happening over the course of the game is that a darkness, and again, another abstract term, is going to be growing and it's going to be endangering the people of this town. And we can't just call up the cops and have the FBI and they come, swooping in to fix everything. We have to kind of handle it ourselves. So we have, so far, we've played one game where we played on an island, kind of a Scandinavian island, I think. And we dealt with like an oncoming blizzard. And we also dealt with like a vampire. And then we played in another game where we played kind of a remote riverside town that was
bayou.
Yeah, I think it was northern though. I can't remember. It could have been bayou. We might have turned it bayou with our accents.
Yeah.
That was dealing with a flood, and that was dealing with some kind of river beast that was awoken in that flood. So we have to come up with a few things. We have to come up with our town. We have to come up with our darkness, And then we also have to come up with our event. So, in addition to dealing with this oncoming darkness, this evil, whatever it might be, the town is also trying to do something together that's somehow trying to promote or protect the town. So, examples from the ones in the book. One time we were trying to save everybody from a flood. Another time, I think the first one, I can't remember all the details, but I think it was the notion of like getting ready to put on some kind of big event as people were coming to town. So whatever it is we want it to be. So we have to come up with those basic ingredients first. Melissa and I have pitches that we're going to throw out. We'll start. So Ashley and Long can come up with one if they want. And then the four of us and anybody in chat who feels like pitching in with some ideas or wants to chime in with what they want to hear tonight, please do. So, Melissa, you had yours first. So why don't you share what your general idea of our town could be?
Okay. So the general idea that I'm thinking of, and I'll kind of include a couple elements here, would essentially be that we are a small town, obviously, that has a history of some type of like haunting. So like the location is sort of already known that it's got some sort of like ancient history, and it could sort of be like ghost town, Loch Ness monstery kind of a thing that's kind of already known. And so the event is that we are trying to get our town put onto like an official like vacation tour. So if somebody's taking like a week long like haunted town vacation, that we're trying to like pitch ourselves to get added um to that like vacation tour spot. So that's kind of
Ooh.
my idea for location and event.
Okay. I'm digging it.
Gotta keep filling because I was typing something.
Sorry. And then
That's
and then
fine.
the idea for the darkness, essentially, the idea for the darkness would be that thing that has always been like rumored to have been here, but isn't really actually a thing, and nobody's really ever actually seen it. That would be the darkness. Is that
Okay.
like thing is actually awoken around, threatening, our pitch to be on, the next stop on the haunting vacation tour.
Cool. Just kind
Did
of
I
petering
fill
out
time?
towards the end. I've been
Just
ready
fill
for
in.
like, yeah, it's fine. I was just typing out something to the Discord.
Yeah.
Okay, and so my pitch, I want to do the thing. I want to do an Antarctic or an Antarctica research station, and so we're all members of an Antarctica research station. Plus, Melissa and I have just been watching this show called The Head on HBO Max, which is also
Okay.
a Antarctica research station. It's
Yep.
it's like my kryptonite. I love Antarctica research stations. So that's what I want to do, and like in terms of like the danger, the darkness, like we could do. There's something in the ice, right? There's something in the ice. It could be bacteria. It could be an alien. It could be a lot of different things. Like we can, it's negotiable on that. But basically, I said I wanted to do the thing, Adam. I can't. I was out there, out front. I said the thing. So that's kind of what I want to do. All right. So Ashley, Long, you got any ideas?
I had one. It was funny that you mentioned the space station because I've been stuck on that. And I was thinking our darkness could be that there's more people on the ship than we're expecting, but we can't remember where they came from or have any idea of, like, whether they're aliens or if they were just in Cairo or whatever. So we have to like discover like what's happening or what's going on. And then our like town mission, I guess, is that we're trying to set up a base location on the moon. So if we prove that it's safe enough, we can create an outpost. But if we don't get funding.
Okay. So we got so far we've got haunted, like a haunted small town. We've got Antarctica research station, and then we have a space station.
Yeah.
With people.
with a growing population, and like we can't like remember, like you know them, like yeah, that's Barbara, she's always been here, but then there's no pictures or documentation of Barbara being here.
So just
And then
like outsiders are starting to show up.
it's
Okay.
yeah, and it's also like a lot of like in my head anyways, the uncanny valley kind of thing where it's like
Okay.
it seems right but it's also
Like
wrong.
imposters and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Long, you got a pitch?
I've come unprepared.
You did what? Ashley just came up with that in like 5 seconds.
Um,
You could say no, and we could just go with one of those three ideas. It's totally
right. That'd probably be easier.
such-
I have no picture.
chicken shit. Okay, so of those three pitches, Long, did any of those sound particularly interesting to you? In chat, if there's anyone in chat who's paying attention, if there's one of those three ideas that you would like us to mess with more than others tonight, go ahead and throw out an idea. Say so, and we'll go from there. We could be on Long Island. My whole family's from Long Island. I don't want to be on Long Island anymore. Long Island. What do you think, Long?
Yeah. I like a thing, of course. It's always a classic. Antarctic area, and then honestly, I wasn't really listening.
Okay, so we got one vote for Antarctic.
The thing that I heard is the thing that I'm voting for.
Okay, yeah. Melissa, do you have a preference other than your own? We could just roll some dice. You want to just roll dice? Should we just roll dice? Make this less painful.
Let's do that.
Okay.
I just ripped mine off the board.
Okay, so we got a vote.
We have a vote for Antarctic.
And we have a vote for space station.
What? I did
Me
come up
too.
with that like 5 seconds ago, like Jeff said.
It's all good. I actually, space station was one of I was thinking about that earlier today too. So let's do. Okay, so we've got
And
votes
Long
for each.
voted for Antarctic, so
Man, Long wasn't paying attention. His vote doesn't count. So this is 50-50 between space station and Antarctica, since
right.
those are the ones we actually got votes for in the chat. So
sounds good.
so let's do. So do one. I'll do a D6, and let's do a D100. Let's make it huge.
Oh,
make
make
the
it
spread
stressful.
huge. It's drop D station. Either way, it's gonna be drop D station, Adam. No matter what we get. Ashley, since you're the other one with the idea, do you want 1 to 50 or do you want 51 to 100?
I won low.
Okay, so you want 1. So 1 to 50, it's a space station named Drop D Station, and 51 to 100, it's an Antarctica research station called Drop D Station. So here we go.
I like it.
It's 35. We're going to space. We're going
to
space. Okay. All right, so let's get this going. So we've got our location. We've got that. So now the next thing we got to do is we got to figure out what roles we're playing on this here station. So this is called Drop D Station. Good deal. Now, so again, I'm just going to go through like how this game works based on my memory so that anybody who's listening to this or watching this later on YouTube, if you're trying to learn how to play the game, maybe this helps you. If it doesn't, sorry. So everybody takes on a particular role, okay? So you get to develop your own character, but every role has its own kind of play set. And there, again, everything's sort of abstracted, like town is abstracted, darkness, event, all that kind of stuff's abstracted. So there's the criminal, there's the elder, there's the law, there's the local, there's the medic, there's the official, there's the stranger, and there's the tradesman. And so basically what you do is you take the idea that you just came up with for the setting, okay, and then you figure out how can you adapt that particular generic concept, that archetype, to that setting. Now, everyone's going to be thinking about what they want to play, so go ahead and do that. The other thing we should think of, let's clarify then what we want to do about the events. We've got our location, we got our setting, like our town, which is Drop D Station. Where is it? It's a moon station. I like it. So we're on a moon station. It's called Drop D Station on a moon somewhere. Perfect. Thank you, Sandra. Okay, now, what event are we trying to accomplish? What's something that we're trying to do to either promote or protect this station? What are we trying to do?
You mean like how we're trying to test the atmosphere and make sure we can, I don't know, establish like an actual colony.
Terraforming. We're doing terraforming.
Terraforming?
Let's just say we're doing terraforming.
Boom.
We're running terraforming equipment. Boom. Okay, so events where installing, we're like kind of like we're installing terraforming equipment or making it work, something like that. So okay, so terraforming equipment. Sound good? All right.
I like it.
Okay, so that's our event. Perfect. If anybody wants to type stuff, go ahead. I'm just gonna do my handwriting down here so I can see it. But I got little. Remember?
Think in Dead Space, we find an obelisk.
Oh God. No, that didn't go well for like anybody. Like Dead Space, it's just terrible. Okay, so we got terraforming, and so then the darkness. So the darkness is something that our characters won't know about in the beginning. We, as like the players, obviously we know that about it, but like over the course of the game, our characters will eventually become aware of its presence, possibly even like absolutely aware of it, or just we might become consumed by it in some way. So we could do like, yeah, we could say that the darkness is the discovery of some sort of ancient alien art, like obelisk or artifact or something. Do we want to do that?
Long, what do you think? Uncanny Valley or like obelisk?
What is Uncanny Valley?
That's like infiltrating aliens. Anyways, that was like my plan.
Uncanny Valley is like the idea that like things look almost normal. It's like looking at a person, they look almost normal, but there's like something about them that's just off in an unsettling way.
I see.
Or we can do the alien obelisk sort of Dead Space inspired concept.
I love fucking Dead Space. It's so good.
Let's do the Dead Space thing because
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Got it. All right, so our darkness.
So from chat, a shadow from the obelisk keeps getting longer unnaturally.
Okay.
Which I like that because it kind of tells you how we know about it before we've actually found the obelisk.
That
but we
could be
still
one
get
of the things
idea of
as the darkness
yeah.
progresses.
manifestations.
Ashley and I were going to the
Hell
same
yeah.
spot. Ashley and I were going to the same spot. So one of the things, Sonra, that you do in this game is whenever dice get moved around to different pools, and whenever dice get moved onto the darkness pool, like certain like I think they're called manifestations of the darkness begin to, and that's where like that shadow can start playing in. So we've got ancient, we got some alien obelisk, and we know that one of the manifestations will probably be this creepy unnatural shadow, because like there's not even like doesn't even make sense for a shadow to be cast in that direction, because that's the sun's not in that direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Why does it seem to be reaching out?
Oh God, stop it.
So unsettling.
Stop it. I have to go to sleep on the moon tonight, so like you're making me scared. Okay. So we've got those two principles. We've got the event, we've got the darkness, we've got our town. We've got like the basic setting. Now we have to start figuring out our roles, because our roles will dictate which smaller locations in the area we'll have to build. So what are people interested in playing? We've got criminal, elder, law, local. Local probably. I say if we do local, we'll probably say local is a person maybe who's been here like a long time or something, and like the rest of us are like more recent arrivals. Because do we want to do moon people? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think that'd be.
The medic, the official, the stranger, the tradesman. So a tradesman can be like an engineer or mechanic that knows how to work these terraforming devices. You know, the official could be, you know, the head of the station, commander of the station. Medic could just be a medic, right? Law could be a company agent that's here overseeing everything. The elder could also, instead of the official, could be the commanding. So we have some options here and there.
I've played the elder and the official previously, so
Okay.
I think this time it would be cool to be like the medic or something.
All right, go ahead. So Ashley's got the medic. Melissa, Long, do you care? If not, you just roll a die or something.
Either tradesman or law.
Okay. Roll 50-50 on it.
So whatever.
Yeah,
Melissa-
I've played the law
if you-
before.
Okay.
So if you want, you could be law, and I was thinking tradesman, because I think Jeff, you've been tradesman.
I've been
before.
tradesman, yeah.
So I might take tradesman.
Okay.
I'll just go lawyer then.
Perfect. You could be, yeah. Okay, perfect. And then, and you said you were the medic, Ashley?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got the law. We can treat the law then probably as like the commander of the station since they're in charge or something. We've got our medic. Tradesman, you're more of a scientist or mechanical type. I could be
Our company overlord, like Matt.
Or our Silas.
oh yeah, our alien
just
game.
come in. Yeah.
There's like so the official, is that what you're suggesting I am? Or
Well, stranger doesn't really work, I don't think, in this.
Yeah.
just like a random person that happens to be flying by in a spaceship?
Yeah.
Hey,
What's
I
up?
think that's really weird.
So we've got, let me write this down again. We've got medic, we've got law, we've got tradesman,
Yep.
and then I'll do,
You could be elder, like you came out with like the first launch, and they sent you back out to I don't know.
was elder the other time, wasn't I? Or was I the local? I can't remember. I think I'll do.
You've been the local and the tradesman.
Okay. All right. I'll just do the elder, and we'll riff on it a bit. Okay. So then what we have to do is we got to everyone take a look at your specific sheets. I'll pull one up. We'll start with Melissa because she kind of knows how to do it. Melissa, you were the tradesman.
Tradesman, yep.
So I'm gonna bring this up so people can kind of see how this works on the sheet. So let's see how that looks on stream. Okay, so you got a little play sheet here going on, and so this play sheet kind of again gives you sort of an abstracted understanding of like how to sort of build your character, and it also kind of helps you populate the location. So every character is going to have their own personal goal. And so your personal goal, Melissa, will revolve around the concept of earning for the week of some kind. There's also questions that you're going to be answering. And then height and cult have to do with relationships with each other. We'll get to that later. Let's focus right now on the different locations. So from the tradesman, we're going to have the plant. That makes a lot of sense. So what do we want the plant to be? Because the plant is like the last remaining place in this town where hardworking people can still make a living. Or we can just think of it as like a trades workshop of some kind, or something related to like the terraforming apparatus, or like the generators or something like that are maybe like powering up the actual terraforming, or maybe we actually have a freaking nuclear reactor and that's how these terraforming devices work.
Ooh.
What do you think, Melissa?
Yeah, because it could be either on the station or that could be the far out location where it's got a little bit of a distance to it, kind of where more of the work is being done. So that's what I was thinking, kind of having a location that's a little bit outside of the station. So that would be like the terraforming equipment.
Okay. So like the terraforming apparatus, which is away from the station.
Yeah.
Okay. So the plant is going to be the terraforming apparatus. And again, if somebody else could open up the journal entries and stuff and write that stuff down so I don't have to try to do it, that would be helpful. Okay. So then the other thing that you get to do is you get to name an NPC that is connected to you in some way. And the common examples that they have are a coworker or a manager. So what are you thinking?
I'm going to say Bruce is going to be a coworker.
Okay. Bruce is a coworker. Got it. So sometimes you need someone to share your troubles, either in lending a helpful ear during a bitch session or helping out making something disappear. Wait a second. Okay, perfect. And then, so that's it for that. And then while I'm going around and getting everybody else's locations, think about those questions for the tradesman there, Melissa, because we'll cycle back and we'll kind of flesh those out as we flesh out relationships between characters as well. All right, so the next up, I have medic. So I think that's you, Ashley.
Yep, I add the infirmary.
Infirmary? Okay.
Yeah, to the town.
All right, so then how would we describe the infirmary?
Probably just like the med bay.
Okay. Just a med bay, no problem. When we think of the station, like how big do we think it is? Like obviously there's only going to be a handful of people who are playing a key role, but like how many other workers would we think are on this drop D station on the moon? We thinking dozens? Or we thinking hundreds?
Maybe just dozens. Maybe kind of small.
Okay, so maybe like max out at like 100 or so. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll kind of like give us an idea of how big and robust that med bay is, and okay, so we've got our med bay. Then the next thing you have to do is a citizen connected to you, an NPC. So like suggestions are nurse or patient, but you can go off that if you want.
I was kind of thinking maybe like a nurse, or
Okay.
no, I'm thinking we'll go patient. We just have our local hypochondriac.
Okay, what's the hypochondriac's name?
I did Stacy last time. This one's gonna be Judith.
Judith. Yeah, that sounds like a hypochondriac's name. Okay, so patient, hypochondriac. What does she do on the station? Like, what's supposed to be her job?
Her job's supposed to be communications.
Okay, she's a comms worker. Got it. Perfect. All right, and then go back and take a look at your personal goal and the questions. They call me Stacy. That's not my name. Okay, so Long, are you ready for us to review your location stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so I've got you down as law. So, all right. So then for you, we get the station. So the station is the law's professional point of contact, although it may not necessarily include a jail or a holding area for criminals. So how would we describe this on our around 100-person drop D moon base terraforming site? What are we thinking this station would look like? I see what you're doing, Adam. Everyone, by the way, can chime in on this. This is something we can kind of work on together.
Wait, I was typing what? Sorry.
We're trying to figure out the station, because like if you think of the station, it's usually like the easiest example is like a jail, like a sheriff's office, something like that. Might not. I mean, like, how would we want to flavor that for 100-person strong moon base / terraforming station?
I wonder if it should even be just like an actual like area, or if it's just like the janitor's closet.
If it's like a makeshift bridge.
Yeah,
Okay.
like do we actually have the means to have like a real like thing, or are you kind of like our 2-for-1? Like you do something else, but like you're also just kind of put in charge. So you made this kind of like rinky-dink brig.
So are we treating him like? Are we going to end up treating the law as like the commander of this place? Is that where we want to go with this, Long?
I think that's like a natural thing if you're down for that.
Okay, so it's not like really criminals here.
I mean, there's probably
Hopefully
like
not.
there's probably people who like kind of get in fisticuffs every now and then, close proximity, that kind of thing. There's probably security. Like you're probably chief of security.
Okay, yeah, security sounds.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay. So you're a
Lots of
chief of
cool-
We
security.
got there.
So we have
Secret things
like
here.
a security office. Okay. Perfect. All right. Okay, so then you get to get a citizen that's connected to you. The options are like the dispatch or a deputy, but you can go off the grid on this. You don't have to pick something from that. That's a good note, Sonrat. The game actually does begin with the discovery of a dead body, so we could say that the official is the dead body that we discovered.
Perfect.
Okay.
I like that.
They took out Gary.
What did
Gary
we
was our
say
commanding officer.
the station
That's
was?
a Thing reference. It's called Drop D Station.
No,
Some
I
weird
meant
sickness. Yeah, I like it.
Long's the head of security.
Oh, the location.
It's
What
a
did we
secure.
identify
It's
as
just
the
like it's
location?
like a little security office.
Okay.
So you probably don't have a dispatch officer.
Mm.
So you could do like a deputy, somebody else, like a fellow security officer, like somebody who helps you out.
Yeah, I'll have a partner.
Okay.
So he'll be just another deputy.
Okay. Want to give me a name?
Yeah, his name's gonna be Eric.
Eric. Okay. So fellow security officer, like your deputy.
What are our names, by the way?
You will get to those when we're going to go back through and do our relationships and stuff.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just getting the locations down first. I'm doing this in a slightly different order because I think the order makes more sense for stream. Okay. And then let's hit mine. Everyone feel free to pitch in on this. I'm doing the elder. So I figure I figure in terms of the elder, I'm just a worker. I'm nothing special, maybe, or maybe I'm like a scientist or something like that. And I've just been here a really long time. Like I've been involved in this project since its inception is sort of where I think I'm going to go with this is like,
Okay.
I've been involved in this and that's what I mean by elder. I'm just an older, so like I've just been here a really long time.
Okay. Yeah.
So no, because we already have like an official NPC that's going to be our dead body. Then we have a head of security. So, and I'm not really a company agent. So I'm just going to be, we'll just call me a scientist or something like that. So I get the office. So I think I'm going to make this a science lab. How's that sound?
That sounds reasonable.
Okay. All right. And so basically we're doing like, it's like geology or something like that. Like I'm a geologist. I'm an astrogeologist. We're dealing with moon rocks and sort of different like tectonics and stuff because I don't know if there's plates on this, but something like that. So I feel like we want to be careful with the obelisk though, Sonora. We want that to be like a surprise because we don't know about the darkness at first. Like the darkness is something that we discover and it like overtakes us as time goes on.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm just like a just like a geologist, terraforming expert type of thing. I don't deal with the machinery, but I deal with like the science behind like the chemistry of how the atmosphere is changing or how the earth is changing, something like that. A receptionist or an accountant. I'm just going to do a lab assistant. Let's see. We've got two dudes. I'm going to do, we've got Bruce, Judith, Eric. I'm going to do,
Give me Judith's best friend.
oh, hell no. Hell no. We're gonna do Astrid. She's my
That's my Valheim character.
I was just thinking Fringe because I'm like an old scientist and his assistant was Astrid. So my assistant is Astrid, very capable, very bright, and she's much younger than me, but she's been a massive help, incredibly competent, complete opposite of Judith. Okay. All right. Perfect.
I like, weird older women.
I don't have just because there's a picture, like this is just like an example. Like you can do whatever you want. Okay. So let's go back through and we got to worry now about like goals. And then we got to worry about questions and we got to do relationships. So in this game, we have to define relationships with each other. So what we do is we're going to essentially do a little draft here in a second where we're going to draft tokens and we're going to put them next to our names, and that's going to define our relationships to one another at the start of the game. And it's either going to be a positive or a negative. And over the course of the game, as we delve into certain scenes, we could potentially change some of those positives, some of those negatives to positives, and that might help us actually perform our event. Because the more positive relationships we have, the more likely we're going to succeed at our terraforming mission. The more negatives we have, the less likely we're going to succeed at our mission. So everybody, you've been looking hopefully at your questionnaires and such for your characters. Does anybody feel ready to kind of introduce their character?
Oh yeah, let's just try it.
Okay. So do you have a name?
Yeah, my name's Connor.
All right. I like it. And you are the security, you're like a security officer?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you've got your own personal goal. You can reveal as much or as little of that as you want. But basically, when you do a personal goal, that kind of remember, don't forget that there's character points and like personal goal, like whether you're doing like you're setting scenes to sort of maintain it. So like yours is to maintain order. Like that's sort of the general concept, is that your goal is to make sure that the site is running smoothly or something like that. So here's your questions. Ready? These are the questions for Law. This is for Long to answer. We can help, but this is Long to answer.
Okay.
What's the most dangerous aspect of the station?
Let's see.
Most
Does it have
dangerous
to be a
aspect.
physical thing, or is it...
No, it's whatever you want it to be, man. What do you think is I mean, you're a security officer on a 100-person strong moon-based terraforming station, and it's so much so that they need security out here. What is the most dangerous aspect of this station?
maybe maybe it's the people. Like maybe we don't have like security throughout all the areas. We don't, maybe the shady parts, we don't see what's going on.
We've got some ideas in
can't
chat too. We've got boredom. People just get bored or restless, isolation sickness. So like the people are bored. Like you're mentioning there's 100+ people. There's like 2 security officers, and people just get bored and isolated and stuff, right?
And steal moon pies.
And steal moon pies. That is true. Moon pies. We should have had like a chef or something, and then we could have done something with moon pies. Okay, so we'll combine all 3: people, growing,
People and their like erratic behavior and
growing,
unpredictability,
isolated, bored. Perfect. Okay. Why are you dreading the beginning of the terraforming, like the actual starting up of these terraforming machines? Because that's our event. We're like putting them in place and we're getting them going. Why are you dreading it? Thank you for those bits, Marvelous Dane. Ooh, drug use isn't a bad one either. Maybe we're all getting high off of whatever's coming out of maybe Astrid's a drug. No, because I was a drug dealer in a different one.
You
remember?
were,
I was
yeah.
a drug dealer in a different one.
What if like we don't, he's dreading it because he's realized every time people go out they come back a little weird.
Imported moon pies. Long, what do you think? Why are you dreading, like what about the, because we're literally, think of it like we're starting up these machines.
Mm-hmm.
What are you dreading about that?
Maybe it's not as safe as it looks.
Okay. Yeah, you're just afraid of like safety concerns, right?
Mm.
Maybe
because you're not one of the scientific types, so it may just be like, this
Right.
doesn't sound like something that should actually be working.
Or maybe this is one of the first times we as a civilization has ever really performed terraforming like this. So this could be like one of the first projects we've ever been on.
Ooh.
Okay, so safety, so terraforming science is untested. Perfect. No OSHA on them. That's good. I like it. Okay. And then the last question for you, Long, and then you can be quiet. What recurring threat bothers you on your shift? It could be Judith, just causing problems, riling people up. She keeps talking about there's crazy gray aliens out there in the shadows.
Judith is just like, I swore I did not have this finger previously. Where did it come from?
Suit dampness is just, oh
Ew.
God, that's so, ugh.
She just peed herself, but she forgot. Like,
Yeah. We're just going to turn on this here particle accelerator. Nothing to worry about. What do you think, Long? What is on your daily shift? What is the thing? And threat can be, you can take that as dangerous or as just annoyance. Even it could be
maybe like
across the spectrum.
little annoyances that keep coming my way that they could just solve themselves. Like I don't even have to go
Okay.
out of my way to help them. They can just deal with it.
Interpersonal conflict, right? Like, okay.
but people like insist that they have to come to you for it.
Right.
Okay. So everyone's getting a little, we've been all here for a while. Everyone's getting a little bit on edge. And plus, like, this is a really serious thing that's about to happen. And so everyone's kind of taking out on each other. And you're the one who has to deal with it because, like, people are shoving each other, pushing each other. Like, he stole my mug of coffee or whatever, something like that.
This is my favorite mug. It says best dad. He's not a father.
All right. So that was Connor, our head of security. Perfect. Okay. So then let's move over. Ashley, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So Ashley, yours is to save lives, right? You just got to make sure people are safe, right? And there's a lot of heavy, huge, big machinery, right? So you probably are dealing with a lot of little injuries here and there.
Yep.
And then there's the stress too, right? Like there's like the mental aspect of it where people are probably coming to you because we can't afford on this here rig to actually have a psychologist. Like we got to just have the medic who's got to cover everything. So
Yep.
let's hit your questions. With your skills, what makes you stay in a remote place? Like you're like, why are you here? You're a trained doctor. Like you can get a job anywhere. You can get a residency at a much safer location. Why are you here?
I took it as she's like doing it to get away from her family. Like she had some sort of issue with her family and she just wanted to get away.
Beautiful. I like it. Do you have a name for your character? I'm sorry, I skipped over that.
Miss Shuffwick.
So sweet.
I'm just kidding. No, this is Stephanie.
Stephanie. Okay. What do people call you? Do we call you?
They just call me Steph.
Okay. Okay. Steph. All right. Second question. What medical emergency is the station not prepared for?
I like to think that my med bay is actually kind of small. Max capacity, like 40 people. So if a lot of people get sick at once, we just can't handle it.
Okay. So the med bay, the med facilities can't handle the population. Okay. So even if like the flu kind of broke out here, that would be just like awful because there's can't handle population.
It would just spread like crazy.
And then what's the worst life and death scenario you've seen here?
The worst thing that we've seen here was a murder, a lover's quarrel.
What? There was a murder here?
There was a murder.
Okay. And both of them are gone. And maybe that's the reason why we now have a security officer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And maybe the elder, maybe I was there for that too.
Yeah.
Because I've been here long enough. Okay. So there was a murder.
I knew them both. It was so sad.
Yeah, a murder, and that's why we have security officer. I mean, I don't understand how, like, if you're lovebirds and you're married and you're just, what? We get to be in enclosed proximity with each other for an extended
really
period of time?
Small rooms.
How could that possibly go crazy?
Melissa blinked twice. You need help.
Stop it.
Hey, what
Stop
number
it.
Of quarantine.
pandemic are we in?
All right. Melissa, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. And you, again, were tradesman, right?
Yes.
All right. So do you have a name for your tradesman?
Haley.
Haley, like the comet. Look at you. Okay. So you're just looking to earn, right? Like you don't really care about the big picture as much as you care about just making sure you're getting your money.
Yeah, which is sort of interesting in this setting, I think.
You can tweak it,
Because
change
I have
it
a
up.
pretty particular job. So in terms of the like I feel like my goal is sort of the event, like
Mm-hmm.
this, like I am the terraforming expert, so it's really like I am up against a deadline.
Well, I sort of think like the difference between our characters is you're the machine one. You're the one who's like one of the inventors and the machine, and I'm the science behind like, okay, this is what we need to do to sort of enrich the soil. This is what we need to do. Like, and
Because
so
what I was thinking is kind of the what have I been hiding that could jeopardize my job is essentially like I am up on this deadline, and so I have been stimulating um, stem medications
okay,
essentially to be able to work enough to get this to the deadline.
has been doing the drugs, and you know where she gets those stims from, Ashley. What you doing, Steph? Keep an eye on your med supplies. There's a reason. Yeah,
You know,
he's been doing the
it's a
stims.
small thing. I didn't realize I should have to count it.
All right, what's the current big bill you're trying to pay off? Oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that was sort of an odd one. The one thing that I was thinking, skipping down to the next question, is what have I been doing on the side to earn extra cash? Um, just to throw a little extra wrinkle, is like we're all supposed to be here with only official technology.
Go ahead. I'm
I thought
sorry.
about
I'm
that,
laughing
that
at chat.
I owed on all of these meds in some way, shape, or form. Um, so what I've been doing on the side to earn extra cash is we're all supposed to be like everything is supposed to be connected through the company. So like all communications and everything is supposed to go through the company. But I've been sort of doing some computer work on the side to have people like access to like private communications, so they feel like they've got some way to send communications that isn't monitored. So I just wanted to throw a
Okay.
little wrinkle there for
You've been hacking, so
um,
sort of.
sort of like people kind of snuck on their own kind of personal devices.
Hacking the comms or something like that, so people can have unmonitored communication.
Yes, allowing things on the Wi-Fi that aren't supposed to be on the Wi-Fi, essentially, is sort of
Okay,
my
Melissa, I
little
see what
version
you're
of it.
getting at. All right.
Melissa's getting everybody porn.
They don't allow it on the company things unless she hacks it up.
Is there something back home, like in terms of like the current big bill you're trying to pay off? You can think about it in those terms too, because I think what they're looking at here is something that can potentially have other people have leverage on you. Oh, who would have thought porn would have gotten Justin out of the woods? Look at that! Hey, it's porn.
Hey,
It's like we summoned him or something.
Yeah. Okay, we can skip that one. That's fine. All right.
yeah, I'm not sure that'll come into play.
I think it could. Let's see. We got the elder, right? Okay. So I'm trying to maintain status quo, and that is, I want this. So my character's name is going to be Walter. Okay. Again, don't, for those of you looking on the screen, don't let the like, that's just a sort of placeholder image. So I'm going to be Walter. Older dude, brilliant scientist, but also I'm gonna play the role of like, not everyone really likes him because he doesn't have the greatest social skills, because he's just so focused. He's like, that kind of thing. So that's gonna be him. He's making sure, like, I don't want the station to fall apart. We need to stay focused. We need this. I need to prove. We need to prove that this is something that can work. And then the questions for me, what made me so influential? We could say, I think I'm the head scientist.
Did you like
Right,
design this
even-
area?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can even say you invented this sort of thing.
Okay. So like I was like the theoretical.
Creator of.
I don't want to, because I don't want to like go into Melissa's lane too much, because I've been viewing it as Melissa is like
I'm doing the work.
the engineer, like the mechanical engineer, and I'm like the science person, and like we kind of overlap like that. So yeah, so I'm like the theoretical inventor of the concept of terraforming. Okay. All right. And then what does the station owe me? everything. None of you fuckers would have a job or a purpose in life. You would be working in some shitty, not unimportant nothing back home. Security officer, you would be some crappy rent-a-cop in a mall somewhere in Indiana, right? Like, I don't want to hear it. And oh yeah, she's got she might have a medical degree, but like, I'm sure if we look a little bit deeper into her history, Steph, that there's probably a reason why she's out here. And maybe it has something to do with all these medical supplies that suddenly are going missing all the time. So yeah, everybody owes me stuff. Fair enough, Bert. Fair enough. Okay, it's just so easier.
You feel the tension, Bert?
Why do you know better than everyone else? Why I feel like we've already established that, right? Because I just do.
I also think this owes you like the last 10 years of your life also.
Yeah, this has been my life. I don't have a spouse. I don't have kids. This is my baby. This is it right here. Okay, so then last thing before we really kind of get going. Bert is so calling me out right now. Okay, so the last thing we have to do is I'm going to show on the screen here is we have these things called cult and height. Basically, these just define positive or negative relationships. There's 4 of us, and if we were at a physical game table, you would only be defining the relationship for the person on the right of you and the person on the left, and we just kind of take turns. This is the total amount that we start with, so it's not like we get any more than that. So there's going to be only 4 positive relationships and 4 negative relationships. Positive doesn't necessarily mean they have to be great friends, and negative doesn't have to necessarily mean that they're enemies. It could just mean they have something historically between the characters, like, you know, a shared event or something, that kind of stuff. That is definitely one of the reasons, Too Old to Twitch, that I want this terraforming thing to go off so I can finally get to my new project, which is making clone babies. That's next step.
Of himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good question of why is it that you landed here?
Why did they send me here? I am the company, right? I am the company. I sent myself here. Okay. All right. So let's do our drafting. Let's take a look at this.
I can go first.
Okay, so you can go first. And so basically just you all should have control. You just drag and drop and move it to whichever one you want. And you're defining again to your left and to your right. So
Oh.
So I am finding a negative relationship between Haley and Connor.
okay, let me zoom in a little bit. All right. So what do you think the nation? Everyone hates Walter. What do you think the nature of the negativity of this relationship between Walter, or excuse me, between
Haley
and Connor? Sorry.
Because Haley is not the only individual that gets some stems from Steph, and I feel like maybe we don't want Connor aware of this, because it'd be difficult to finish our jobs if our supply was cut off.
Yeah, because he's a narc. He was brought here to be a narc. You know.
Yep.
Beautiful. Long, why don't you go next then? We'll just kind of go around so we start with Melissa, go to Long, come back to me, Ashley, then we'll cycle around like that. So you're defining either a relationship with me or a relationship with Melissa. So Walter, the elder scientist, or Haley, the engineer.
It's not letting me drag, but I was trying to find a negative between you and me.
I remember you've got to pick the menu that says tile controls. It looks
Yeah.
like 3 little cubes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Between Jeff or Melissa?
You want that negative between you and me, or do you want that between you and Melissa?
No, we already have a negative, right?
You have to define both sides of it. So like Melissa's character views you negatively,
don't like you.
but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to also have a negative. Like your side of the relationship could be positive.
Oh, okay. No, it's between Connor and Walter.
Okay. What's your fucking beef, man? What are you trying?
You've got this destructive idealism.
Whew, whew.
You're,
Oh,
uh,
calling you
guess what
out,
you're trying
old
to
man.
push on here is not healthy for the people.
Oh, not healthy? You know it's not healthy for the people? You know it's not healthy for them? Carbon fucking dioxide, man. The atmosphere on Earth right now is awful. We need to find more places for people to live. But no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I'm not healthy for the people. Okay, I like it. Okay.
All right, you're up.
I am also going to define a negative relationship with bumbling security because I think he's just useless. I just think he's useless. I'm like, well, you're just useless. Like, you have no science degree. You have no engineering capabilities. You're not a mechanic. You're not even a medical doctor. You're just some goon that the company sent here because a few people couldn't handle their shit. So you're just getting in the way. You're just getting in the way. You just like you just drive me nuts. That's my views towards Connor. You country bumpkin, get out of my way. I look down on you from my giant ivory tower.
Ashley.
All right, Ashley, you're up.
I think I'm gonna have a positive relationship with Haley because I don't realize yet. My assistant hasn't really brought it to my attention yet that things are going missing. Maybe she's the source that everybody's getting drugs from.
Okay.
And she's doing her best to keep me in the dark about it.
I am going to define a positive relationship because I like I think we already had a good relationship, but I also want to make sure that you are aware that we have a good relationship. So when I'm there a lot, it's just because we get along and not because I'm getting stuff from your assistant.
Okay.
Okay, Long, you got 2 positive and 1 negative left.
Okay. Let's do positive between Haley and Connor.
Okay. Nature of that relationship.
Let's just be gambling buddies.
Okay. Yeah. That's where that can work. I'm sure like you
And I feel like you think it's good because she will let you win sometimes just to keep you happy and not asking too many questions. So that's my take on that.
Okay, Ashley, it's you and me in these last 2. So let's talk this out.
Okay.
Would it make more sense for Walter to have a positive view of Steph or for Steph to have a positive view of Walter?
I feel like it makes more sense for Steph to have a positive view of Walter.
Okay.
Because like I think I kind of think of her as like a little bit of like a himbo, like where she's good in her field, but she's also just like sees the best in people, maybe a little bit dumb. For some reason she's unnaturally buff. Like, you know?
Okay. All right, so
and Walter just thinks everybody's dumb and stupid.
Yeah, I think it's like I look at you and I see just wasted potential is what it is.
Like I am so earnest and I just admire what you've done, and like you just view me as just stuck on a plateau, just not going anywhere.
Yeah, like there's so much more you could do with your potential, and like just being a medic and putting,
like, why am I here?
Putting band-aids on scraped knees. You can do so much more than this, right? Okay. God, when did my guy become such an asshole?
Why can't I do surgery?
Okay, so then I guess the last thing we should do really quick is we got to set a scene, and I think it actually might make sense for Long's character of Connor to start us off. He is the security officer. Every game of Malice, of A Town Called Malice, begins with the discovery of a body. And from Sonrat's suggestion in the chat, we're gonna go with the head of the station, their body. So, what's the name of the head of the station? What do we want to do? I think we should call it Commander Gary. just so we have a little bit of that Antarctic research station. No, we need the name of the of like who was
Gary or Tom?
what?
Like ground control to Major Tom kind of thing.
Oh.
That's where I went with it.
Okay, yeah, we'll do Tom. We'll say his name is Tom.
Jerry Thomas.
Tom Gary.
Oh.
Jerry Thomas. Okay, we'll do that.
Or Gary Thomas.
Gary
sorry.
Thomas.
Yeah.
All right, Gary.
Yeah.
Is Gary Thomas the Wendy's guy?
Dave Thomas.
Dave Thomas. Okay, so we'll say the official is Gary Thomas with 2 R's. Very important. Stefan Anderson. I think I'd use Stefan Anderson in like in one of the Vaesen games we were in.
Yeah, you did have a Stefan.
We'll have to tuck Stefan in our back pocket so when an NPC comes in, because we're going to be able to introduce new locations and stuff as the game progresses. Okay, so I think we're all set. So where do we want the body to have been discovered? Now we have our locations in play. So the locations that we have are the plant, because there's 4 of us. So we have 4 locations. Anyone can burn character points to add new locations, but right now we have 4. So we have the plant, which is like the terraforming apparatus that is away from the actual small station area where everyone kind of lives and works and stuff. And then there's the terraforming apparatus. We've got the infirmary. We've got the station, which is like just a security office, and then we've got the science lab. Do we want it?
My vote would be the terraforming because it's
Okay.
out.
That, or is there a way for us, aside from spending a character point, to have it be at like the cafeteria, and like that's like the like I guess you could call it the hub of like the space station,
or we could call it the cafe. I think the cafe is a thing. Sure. Why don't we do that? Do we want that? Sonrat says we got recommendations for by event, too old to Twitch, the water closet, so in the restroom. Okay, we can combine some of these things. We can say by event. Maybe the restrooms are right next to the cafeteria, or something like that, or
An event in the restroom.
yeah. I mean, there's vents in all the rooms.
well, and we could just have a cafeteria and not have it actually be like a location that we can go to or whatever.
No, we can do it. I mean, like it's our game. We'll do it the hell we want. That's how I feel. People throw out some bits, so we can add a damn cafeteria. Okay. I like the idea of it's the freezer in the mess hall. Okay. I don't know. What do y'all think? We've got a couple options. What do we like? Do we like finding like in the mess hall itself, like in the kitchen area, in the freezer? Do we like one of the reasons you do your own specific locations is that you already kind of have some stuff to go on that you've built. I don't know. Unless
I
Ashley
like
Long.
in the freezer.
Okay. Let's go with it then. We'll say cafeteria. So let's define the cafeteria really fast. All right. We need an NPC for the... We don't have to give it a name. We can just call it the mess hall. That's fine.
Yeah.
We need an NPC here because every location basically has an NPC. That's just defaulted.
Dorothy.
We'll need the cook, right?
Yeah, cook.
Dorothy the cook. Okay.
Okay. All right, perfect. So, Long, you're going to start us off, I think, because you've been recently called in to, like, the body of the Captain Thomas or Commander Thomas has been found in the fucking mess hall, like, for some reason. So, let's go over the rules again really fast. Everybody at this point, you can go ahead and take a point of one of these, the gold tokens. You have a character point. You can bring that down next to your name. They can be used in a variety of ways. You get to frame the scene, Long, but this is the starting scene, so it's a little bit different. We've got the location, cafeteria, the mess hall. Dorothy is there if you want her to be. Maybe she's the one who discovered the body, maybe not. And then you can pick for free one other player character to be there. So, who would you like to be there?
I'll call in Stephanie, the medic.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay.
All right. So so then you have to make the decision between Melissa, can you check how many dice should be on the body? I forget. Then you have to make a decision on like what's your goal for this particular scene. So there's a couple different goals that you can have long. You can choose to address one of the story pillars. So that means do something to advance the event, which is the initiation of the terraforming equipment. You can do something that is investigating the body. You can do something that's preventing the darkness. Or you can do a personal goal, like improving a relationship with somebody else. It's the first scene. Darkness hasn't really come into play yet. Your dead body, so it's kind of up to you. But like the idea of like with the scenes is like you do something and then you roll, and then we move some dice around to the different pools.
So I think it'll be something about the body.
Okay, so you're gonna investigate the body. Perfect. So you're there. Set the scene. Ashley, Long, you're up. You're both there. Walk us through it.
Okay. So I'll first be coming on the scene, having first heard of it. I'll see Commander Gary Thomas in the freezer. Reported by Dorothy. She found him there.
Who do you want playing Dorothy? Melissa or me?
We got Melissa do it.
Okay, you ready, Melissa?
Ready?
All right. So you're cook Dorothy. You discovered the body of Commander Gary Thomas for some reason in your walk-in freezer.
Oh, Connor, I'm so glad you're here. It's just awful. And she's just wringing like a, dish rag in her hands.
Right. Just calm down and tell me what happened.
I came in here to start getting prepped for dinner, and I just found Mr. Thomas just in my freezer.
What are you though? Have you told anyone else?
No. I went straight to you. That's what we've been told.
Right.
If there's ever a problem, go straight to you.
Let me call Steph here as well.
Steph wanders in. Eventually, a little bit later, she's snapping on her gloves. Oh man, this is pretty unsanitary. He's laying all over the potatoes.
We have bigger concerns than that stuff.
Oh, poor Mr. Thomas. And so she'll go up and like just start doing like making sure he's dead, checking for a pulse, even though he's blue, and looking for cause of death. Here, Eric, he's very stiff, but can you help me get him on this stretcher? Here, put these gloves on first. Just grab him by his feet.
So remember that you're trying to figure out cause of death?
Yes.
Okay. So as long as is that acceptable to you? You're the spotlight player, you kind of get the control of the first scene.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So then we can do the roll. Now before we roll, one of the things you're allowed to do is you can spend character points to increase the dice pool. Okay. So Melissa, what's the default dice? Because we're in Act 1, so opposition is 3. So you're rolling
and
against.
Each of us
dice.
start with 1.
Okay. So since there's 2 of you in it, there's 2 dice that you're rolling versus 3 dice in the opposition. You all have a character point. So one of you, or any of us, either Melissa and I can do this. We could spend a character point to add to temporarily increase that by adding like another NPC, another location, an item, something like that, and that would temporarily, just for this roll, increase that your actual resolution pool by 1 die. So think about if you want to do that first before you do the roll, because you can't do that after the roll is made. It's got to be before the dice are rolled.
Okay, so I can add my character point to this.
Yeah. So if you want to spend your character point, go ahead and spend it. And then the question now is, what do you want to do? So you could either add a new character here, like another NPC shows up. It could be an item. Maybe there's a specific like examination device that you all have access to that might help you figure out the cause of death or something like that.
Or could it be we find like the actual like murder weapon?
Yeah, it could be that too. If there is a murder weapon. It's whatever you want. Like, that's what this is. And as the Spotlight player, Long, you actually get final say on this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We can add an item.
Okay. What do you want to add?
We have his logs, maybe.
So he's got like his own little portfolio of logs or something?
Yeah, so like sort of a timeline of what he's been doing.
Like a clipboard or something that he's got his stuff on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. All right, so then go ahead and roll. So Long, roll your 3 dice for resolution, and then Ashley, you can roll 3 dice for opposition.
It's D6, right?
Mm-hmm.
All successes?
Wow,
3
dude.
successes?
Yeah, I had 1 success. I had a 5.
Okay, so what this means then is that you know the cause of death. So that was what you were trying to accomplish. So like just from a thematic story point, you also can flesh out what's on his logs, like what's on, like what kind of details it has. And more mechanically, we get to move a die from the body pool to either the event or the darkness, or we can either add one to the event pool, or we can remove a die from the darkness pool.
All right, you said define.
Okay.
It says logs or something?
You have a couple things you can do. You said that you wanted the item that you wanted to include was Commander Gary's personal logs.
Mm-hmm.
You could, if you want, because you put them into the scene, you could talk about like what's on them. Where does it sit? Where was he last, or something like that? It's perfectly reasonable. You can figure out exactly how he died, because you succeeded. You have the free range to do those types of things, and then mechanically, because that's all story. Just do that by story. Just make it up and do whatever you want, and then we all have to kind of improv off of that. And mechanically, you get to choose between. You take a die off the body pool, and then you either move it onto. Let me start again. You can move a die from the body pool into the event pool, because the more event dice we have, the better we are. Or you can take a die out of the darkness pool and just get rid of it. The fewer dice in the darkness pool, the better it is for us.
Okay, let's add to the event.
Okay, I'll take care of that. And then now you get to just kind of define how did he die and like what was in the logs.
Okay. In his logs, his day was first visiting the infirmary because he wasn't feeling well. And then out into the field to check, I guess, the environment, if it was a good day to work. Then finally ended up. What was your location for Walter? The science lab? Okay.
Yeah, science
Ended
lab.
up in the science lab. Just to speak about like the project.
Okay. So you know some whereabouts. You know his recent whereabouts. Perfect. And then the last thing that you got, since the question you were asking specifically for this scene was how he died. How did he die? Did he just freeze to death? Is there some other? Are there lacerations? Did his head explode? Did something burst out of his chest?
Did he appear frightened to death?
Did he just kill himself?
Yeah. Is there a self-inflicted gunshot
Interesting.
wound? Did he slit his wrists?
We'll go with You'll make it look like self-harm, like something he couldn't handle, and he just had to. He clawed his face
Ooh.
Clawed
away.
his face off.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, beautiful. And maybe you notice that, Ashley, while you're kind of going through it, you can see the skin under his fingertips or something like that.
And then maybe he's like face down, so we don't immediately see his face when we come in. So when we go to flip him over to put him on the stretcher, we see he's frozen with just like his hands ripping chunks out of his face.
Oh, I like that idea. Like maybe
Ooh.
maybe he like was burning up and like something. He almost like maybe you open him up and like. Well, we can always develop this later, but the idea of maybe that's why he was in the freezer is because he was
too hot.
He was too hot, yeah. And so he was just sort of like
The
ripping.
fever reducer I gave him didn't do
He was
anything.
ripping his skin off because it was just too hot. Because he's naked, right? Like his clothes are off and his.
Ooh,
Okay.
just sitting on the potatoes.
It's
Okay.
gross.
So that's the end of Long's first scene, and so now somebody else can take a scene. We get everyone gets 2 chances to be the spotlight player per act. There's 2 acts. Who would want to go next?
Also,
with
since
this?
does he get a point because he finished his scene?
Nope.
Or is that just personal?
That's personal goals.
Got it.
And
Okay.
personal goals are developing relationships.
So I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Go for
So I
it.
just want to do a quick scene. One of the strategy things that I like to do in this game is to do a personal type goal early on to get the extra character point and to increase the dice pool. That's one of the things that I like to do early on. So I am going to do a personal goal. So essentially for me, like I am out where I'm supposed to be and I'm just working. Like I'm feverishly working to try to hit this deadline. That's kind of my goal. So I just want to be kind of working and making sure that I'm kind of doing everything that I need to do. So the other person that I would say in this scene would be Walter. And I would imagine that we're kind of going through a bit of a final kind of a punch list almost of like the things that we need to kind of get wrapped up before we kind of do this test.
And you have your NPC Bruce, your assistant or partner, that Ashley or Long could jump in and play too if you wanted for free. No payment required.
Yep.
Okay. And so you're just, I think a personal goal, by the way, can be solo. I think you only need to worry if you want to improve a relationship, but you and I don't have one because we're on the opposite side. So I don't have to be there. I mean, I can be.
Okay.
It's
I would
free.
say for the sake of just kind of running through my first scene, I would say I'll just be me and Bruce.
Okay.
And we're just, you can tell that I'm a bit of pressured speech. All right, let's get this stuff done. We got to do this. We got to do this. We got to do this. I'm going to do this. You're going to do this.
Can we say that Bruce is being a little sluggish, and he keeps talking about like, oh, I think I should probably go to the like infirmary. Like, he's just like sweating even more than normal, something like that.
Sure.
It might be the nerves. It might just be the pressure of the situation. It's like because we have a deadline to meet. We've already missed 2 of them. We've blown 2 deadlines. So.
And you know what, Bruce, you've really just got to kind of step your game up here. If you feel like you're lagging a little bit, I really think you should go talk to Steph. What was your assistant's name?
Oh God, Judith.
Judith.
Oh God, I don't want to talk that wing nut. No thanks. That's just gonna. No thanks. It's fine. I'm just a little dehydrated. Just a little dehydrated.
Get your shit together and let's get this done.
Okay, no problem. All right, so you're
So I will actually, can I say that the item that I actually have is a stem? So I just want to, can that be the item that I just give to him?
You're spending a point to get an item?
No, you're right. I'll keep a point.
Okay. I know how you like to min-max.
So I'm rolling, sorry, let me open this back up again. So personal goal, receives a character point at the conclusion.
You don't have to roll for a personal goal. It's automatically succeeds.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's my goal.
Okay.
Moving along towards.
So we get a quick scene of Bruce and Haley out by the terraforming platform, and they're hastily working because we have a deadline to meet. Bruce is showing signs of overheat and exhaustion. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Ashley or me?
I can go because I have a really small one that I want to do real quick.
Okay, go for it.
It's technically going to be a personal goal, but I kind of want it to build on like the thing we've been doing with everybody getting too hot. And I want to have just one of the random people there. Maybe it's somebody who like works in the machines and has been out on like the moon over at the plant, and they come to me and they're complaining about just sweating too much. And this isn't the first time that people have come up to me about this. So I actually sit down and I run much more detailed diagnostics on this person and get them hooked up to like a water drip IV. And
Would you say this happens before or after the discovery of the body?
after.
Okay. Okay. So if you're just doing a personal scene, you don't got to roll for it.
Cool.
Okay. Okay. I want to do. I'm gonna do a scene with Connor. Gonna be in the lab. No. It's gonna be. We do need an AI NPC. That's a good idea. It's gonna be in the security office. No. Where would we have taken? Where would the body have gone? Now let's go to the security office. This podunk shitty broom closet that's been converted into a security office. You're there. Your little buddy. What's your buddy's name again?
Eric.
Eric is there as well. And I'm going to attempt to improve a relationship. Because I mean, the whole station. Connor.
Hello, Walter.
I've heard dreadful, awful rumors about what happened to the commander. Very, very terrible. Some people just can't handle the pressures of space. I still remember when they first assigned the commander here. I'd already been here for several years, but I suppose it's just the rigors were too much for him. I just want your assurances here that your this terrible accident is in no way going to interfere with the terraforming project. I want your assurances that we can just put this down, perhaps as just an accident. Perhaps he was getting a hot toddy. He couldn't sleep or something, and he slipped on some ice. And if we start sending back reports of our commander having whatever happened to him happened to them, then there's I worry that they're going to put a halt to the entire project. We just can't have that. I need your assurances that you're a team player, Connor. I know we've had our differences in the past. I know that a lot of what we do here is just woefully over your head. But that doesn't mean that you don't serve a valuable role on Drop D Station.
Well, of course. As Stephanie looks into it more, we'll try and report it as best as we can. We're here for a reason, and we look to see that reason continues. Your work continues. It shouldn't be put to a halt just because of this incident, but as we get more details, hopefully it becomes clear and everybody feels more assured.
I am going to burn a point because I'm not a min-maxer. I am going to burn a point to create an I'm gonna create an NPC. We have an AI. We call them Father. And I will say, rest assured, I will once the test and goes off without a hitch, and we're able to proceed, I will make sure that all of Father's processing power can help you in whatever investigation you think is needed after the fact. But until we are able to pull off the test, let's just keep this on a need-to-know basis. It was an accident. And so we now have a new NPC named Father, who, upon me saying that, and I say, "Isn't that right, Father?" And you just hear, I don't know, Ashley do a computer voice.
Oh God,
Just
that
say it.
is correct.
Perfect. Okay. So I just spent a point to add. We have a new NPC. Sometimes this music gets louder than I intended. So we have a new NPC, but I spent the point, which means I get an extra success, or excuse me, I get an extra die. I still got to roll a die because I got to roll the pool. So I'm gonna roll 3. Long, you want to roll 3 for the opposition?
Okay.
Oh goodness, no.
Which scene? What kind of scene were you guys doing?
I was trying to do what's it called? A
Relationship.
relationship. Do you have to roll for a relationship one?
Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you had to do a relationship. I thought the only one you didn't have to do was a personal goal.
yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay. And so, I don't know. Maybe you're saying the right things to me just to get me out of your hair. But yeah. I mean, the guy's dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy's dead. You got to freaking figure out why, and if there's a threat to other people. So, I think I'm gonna. So maybe I push you too far with this, and I keep saying, we have to make sure that the mission comes first, of course.
That's enough, Walter. I see where your head's at, but we have more important matters.
Oh, I see. Well, I see where your head's at, and it's straight up your own ass. And I'm just going to leave the room, and I'm like, should I leave your broom closet door open or close? And then I'm just gonna slam it without listening.
It doesn't really close. So it's like,
Yeah, it just kind of catches and flops back open.
Okay, fair enough.
So
All
Jeff,
right.
you get a point anyway.
I do
Yeah.
get a point. He doesn't get one,
Yeah.
though, unfortunately,
No.
so I get my point
Yeah,
back.
because of the roll. Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody's gone
Once. Yes.
in Act 1.
Okay.
So we all have
Yes.
one more scene in Act 1.
So we've got other people that might be getting hot. We've got Walter, who's trying to keep the stuff quiet. We've got the commander's logbook saying where he's been. Lots of things we could potentially do. So who has an idea of where they want to do with the next scene?
Can I go? I have
Yeah.
a scene for the body.
Go for it.
Stephanie, since she had that, because she has just a part of her med bay quartered off that's kind of colder. That's the, I guess, morgue. And after she's had multiple people come up to her about being hot, she wants to check the body to see if maybe the fat cells in the body have been burnt off rapidly inside, and signs of dehydration and stuff like that. Almost, I'm thinking melting from the inside out. And so I want to see if I can find signs of that. And
So who do you want in the scene with you? You get a free PC to add into it.
I think maybe Haley will come in just to be there, because other people who have been working with her have been complaining about being too hot and stuff, or she's there to get drugs. Who knows? But she's just in the room, maybe not necessarily interacting with me, but with my assistant while I'm doing this stuff.
Who do you want playing Judith?
You.
Okay.
Who else?
Okay. Okay. Got it. So you're in the back looking at the body.
Yeah.
Haley and I,
Judith are having an interaction.
Yes.
and I'm just like,
And then you just hear me as I'm just oh God. Oh. And you hear tools clattering as I'm cutting things open. If you look over, you see I've got the standard Y incision, and I'm just looking in, pulling stuff out, plopping them in jump bowls and stuff.
you should really put gloves on.
Yeah, they're there. They're just red.
Steph, what are you doing?
An autopsy?
On who?
What's it? A dead person. It's okay. And then I close the curtain.
I-
I don't.
So, okay, I feel like I've missed some things in the last 24 hours that I was out in station trying to meet this deadline. Have you? So Bruce has
Yeah,
sort of
I
been.
start my bone saw.
Just hear.
Bruce is what? I can't hear you.
He's just not feeling well. Is there anything that you could prescribe for him to get him through?
You see my head just peek out from behind the curtain. There's now a bloody handprint on the curtain as I'm pulling it aside. Is he too hot? Is he sweating a lot?
Yes.
Can you send him in? Like, no rush, but it would probably be best.
From the ground, you hear Judith. Bruce has always been super hot, but not in like an attractive way. He's got a glandular problem, I think. It's just,
okay. And
I don't know how he got cleared to serve here.
He's gotta tell him to see me, Haley. Me.
I'll have him finish his shift, and then
maybe
I'll send
not.
him over
Maybe
to you.
he should come to me immediately, and I will pause this autopsy. Like, no rush, but like that's probably best.
Sure.
And don't tell other people about this. Just let's get this done.
Who do I talk to? It's me and Bruce trying to hit this deadline, and Haley's done unless you need more from her.
Nope, that's it. Let's roll.
Okay. So you spent no points. So it's 2 die for you, Ashley, versus 3 die for Melissa as opposition.
Well, I have 2 die and Melissa has 2 die.
Oh, that's right. The min-maxers are together. Okay, so the 4 of you. So roll 4 dice for Ashley and roll 3 dice for Melissa.
2, 3.
You roll 3 as opposition.
And 3.
Are 4 successes?
I believe it's 4, 5, and 6.
Just 5
right,
and...
Melissa?
Okay, so I have 3
I think it's 4,
successes.
5, and 6.
I just have 1, so either way.
Yeah, you're
I
good.
got 1, 6.
Okay, so you can mechanically either move a die off the body onto the event, or you can remove a die off the darkness pool.
I would like to move a die off the body to the event.
Done.
Boom.
Okay. Sounds good.
So what I discover though is yes, there has been like melting and overheating of the fat cells inside the body. And like just massive signs of rapid dehydration.
Okay. All right. Next scene. Who's up?
I can go next. Oh, what do I want to do? I really wanted to do a relationship, but I'm trying to think of a reason to chat with Connor. Yeah, I'm gonna go have a chat with Connor, just to try to find some information out about the body. Hey, Connor. So I was just talking to Steph, and she's doing an autopsy. What the hell is going on here?
Well, you see, there's been a situation with the commander. She's currently investigating it right now. But
The commander, he was just out to see our progress yesterday.
right, it's been a stressful couple hours, but what are you trying to get to here?
I mean, he was fine. I just wanted to make sure you knew. I mean, he was fine when he left us. Like, nothing happened. He was pleased with our progress. Everything was fine. What do we think happened afterward?
Well, after he was with you, he did visit the labs for a moment. That's where his logs cut off. Let's.
At the... Well, we did actually send him. We sent him back some scans that we had been taking when we were out, just to. I don't know what we're seeing, but we just wanted to. We sent some scans back of the area around the lab. For some reason, he was interested in what was going on.
Look, you're probably here for the same reasons Walter came here earlier. You both want this project to continue.
I mean, I do, but I mean, I don't like to go have a conversation with my friend and find out someone died. I mean, that's kind of concerning. I want to find out what happened. I would like to do a roll on the body. I'm trying to figure out what kind of specific question I'm trying to. So, can I see if I maybe recall something about his behavior when he was out? That might cue me into his mental state when he was there.
That's totally fair.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got 3 die from your 2 and Connor's 1 versus 3 die in the opposition pool. So 3 from Melissa and 3 from Long. So
my 3 has 2 6s and a 5.
And then you've got 2
4
for
and 6.
Okay, so then that's a success.
All right.
So what do you learn about his? What do you recall? Melissa's like, oh shit, that's right.
I really just mechanically wanted the win, and now I have to figure that out. So I think maybe I'll just remember that there was something. He's generally all about the exploration and being out and the adventure of all of it. But he was, for some reason, just seeming to be very skittish and, just kind of constantly just kind of looking around him. So he was definitely something spooked him. Visually, he seems to have seen something that he was kind of spooked by. So I would like to take a die off the body and move it to the event.
Sounds good. Okay. Did you do that, or do you want me to do it?
I'm doing it now.
Okay. All right. I think Long and I still have to go for second round. Long, do you have an idea? I have a simple one. If you want more time.
What are the options again? It's body.
So you can either do body, do something. So investigate the body, which is about moving die off the body. Right now we have 1 die left, so it's still worthwhile to do that. It could be about advancing the event. It could be about investigating the darkness. It could be a personal goal, meaning what was your personal goal in your case? Keeping people safe or whatever. And then it also could be improving relationships.
Okay. Probably do just personal goal. That gives me a character point if I succeed.
You automatically succeed and you get a character point. Yeah.
All you gotta do is just describe what you were doing to achieve your personal goal.
Okay. So I'll work with Eric, my partner deputy here, to try and go around and pretty much reassure everyone that's working here that safety is our top concern and that whatever you've heard is being looked into. Just keep everyone's mind calm.
Yeah, just walking around assuring people. Makes perfect sense. Cool. Meanwhile, asshole Walter. He is I was calling Walter an asshole, Melissa. I wasn't calling Long an asshole. Though, the shoe fits. He's got a job to do. So I'm gonna do a personal goal. Maintaining status quo. And I am going to do the opposite of what. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bury myself in my work. I'm gonna get into the science lab. I'm going to be with Astrid and I. We're going to be looking over kind of final calculations in terms of for how long, we should be kind of burning certain engines for, like what kind of like looking at the kind of chemical properties to make sure the soil is, the actual the dirt is actually being sort of revitalized in some way. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Thanks, Bert. Have a good game tonight, man. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm just going to spend time going over my notes, and I'm going to be stressing the whole time to Astrid that if anybody asks her about Commander Gary or anything like that, I'm just going to say just tell them that he's been showing signs of fatigue and that he can't handle the stress. Okay, we don't need another problem. So I'm gonna lay the groundwork to make sure that there's like a rumor that's beginning to spread that specifically Commander was kind of he wasn't like ready for the job. Like he was in over his head. He couldn't handle it and all that kind of stuff. So I'm doing whatever I can to make sure that status quo is maintained, meaning everyone's doing their job. We're not wasting our time on this stupid investigation. We've got science to do. We've got a machine to start, and we've got a freaking moon to terraform. We don't need to deal with this stupid this stupid sidetrack notion. Okay, like no one's getting in the way of what we can accomplish here. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll burn the character point that I get, so I have 2 to increase my die total. And so that's the end of Act 1, I think. Has everyone gone?
Yep.
So let's do a quick recap then. We're on Moonbase Drop D station.
Yep.
Okay. We've got a dead Commander Gary who has spent time out by the terraforming plant. He spent time in the science lab, my science lab, and the third place was
he stopped first at the med bay at each of our
infirmary.
Locations.
Okay. Yeah. So at everyone's locations, conveniently except for Connor's. Look at him throwing us off. It was him. And the science is suggesting that like he was like his innards melted, yet he was like in a freezer somehow. We have a handful of other folks who are demonstrating signs of like insomnia and signs of overheating
and dehydration.
We've got Connor, who is trying to keep everybody calm and trying to assure them that he's going to get to the bottom of the investigation into our commander's death. We've got Walter, who is doing the opposite and saying that our commander was a shit commander who couldn't handle it. Let's get back to work. We have stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Melissa, your character, Haley. Her assistant is showing signs of the overheating.
Yep.
And then for Steph, discovered the stuff about the melting innards and stuff, and wants to see Bruce.
Yep.
Is that everything? Okay.
I think so.
All right, we're resetting now for Act 2, because the Act 2 opposition pool is now 5 dice, and so we're going to be rolling against 5 every time. We still get two rounds. So things like the so basically, like as the game progresses, the darkness is getting stronger and becoming more pronounced, etc. So think about it in those terms. Think about it in terms of story now. And so we've already laid some really good seeds with like planting other people as potential next bodies that could start popping up. So that's something we could potentially do at some point. Things like that. Do we add any more?
So I reset the board.
Okay.
Yep. So the like Jeff said, the opposition is up to 5. Each of us gets a character point, moving from Act 1 to Act 2, and we add a number of dice to the darkness card equal to the number of players. So we went from having 1 dice on the darkness card. So I already added in the character points to everybody, and so now we went from 1 dice on the darkness card to 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Who wants to start? And now it's Act 2, so what we're thinking now here, just like in this, they talk about this a little bit in the book, is like we're accelerating towards like the culmination of the story. So like think about how more people are getting sick, but the pressure of we need to get this terraforming. If we don't hit this particular time when the conditions are just right, we're going to miss our window, and that's going to push us back even further. So there's the stress of that. There's competing factions, so we want all of this to kind of blow up in our face in various ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could I do a darkness scene where my med bay is full of people
I love it.
who are overheating, and it's just us trying to contain it and treat these people?
I'm going to spend a point for you and say that Bruce is there.
Okay.
So in addition to your actual NPC assistant, Judith, Bruce is there as well.
Okay.
Her voice changes all the time. And then there's a variety of other people as well who are there.
Yeah.
Okay. What PC do you want to be there for free?
Um.
And also, don't forget, by the way, relationships are important for succeeding at the event and preventing the darkness too. So the fewer negative relationships we have, the more positive it is for us at the end.
Okay. My relationships are pretty. Maybe I'll have no, because I'm doing a darkness scene, so that doesn't make sense. Maybe Haley brought Bruce because he, by the time she went back and found him, he was passed out on the ground and she had to drag him in.
Works for me.
Sounds good. Long, you want to do Bruce? I'll do Judith as needed, if we're needed.
Yeah. I think this will be a pretty quick scene because it's just absolute chaos of people. Just it's too hot in here. I can't handle it. And I don't have beds, and people are trying to get in to get more beds, and so we've taken over. Maybe there's apartments nearest to the med bay that we've kind of have to take over to keep people nearby for us to treat.
And then like Haley comes down the hall as you're coming out of one of those rooms, you know, kind of like with Bruce kind of over her shoulder, like, you said to bring him right away, and I was gonna have him work his shift, and he was passed out. So what can you do?
And she just looks at you and she's like, I don't have beds. Get him here. You need to we'll get him hooked up. Judith, I need an IV over here on Bruce. And like Judith just has like a trail of like those pull IV things.
We're all gonna die. Oh my god, I'm gonna die
Judith,
in space.
Shut up. I don't have time for this right now. And Judith is like, I'm heating.
Is
She's
this
a
contagious?
hypochondriac.
Is it contagious? Oh god, it's contagious. Oh god.
And like I'm like, Judith, stop. And yeah, I think I'll roll.
The worst nurse. Like Nurse Ratchet was better.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So you got an extra point from me. I gave you a point.
I have 2.
I'm a team player.
So it's 5v5.
Okay.
Okay. This is for the darkness. This is to remove a die from the darkness pool.
Yes.
And I'm rolling opposition?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have 3.
I have...
Nice. 2.
2. Okay, that's a success. 2. So for succeeding at a darkness one, you just remove a die from the darkness pool.
Oops.
Okay. So
go ahead and do it, Ashley?
Yeah.
Yeah. Always make sure one person's doing it, because if 2 people try to move the same object, like Chuck and I have discovered this, it just flies so far away. It's crazy. Okay. Beautiful.
Sweet.
So that's your first one down. Who's next?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So Haley had gotten information in Act 1 that she recalled that there was something to do with kind of the vistas around the terraforming station that Gary had been looking at. So she wants to go back. I want to spend my character point on some sort of, and it's gonna be more fancy than this, but some sort of like binoculars-ish type of scanning equipment that she's going to use to kind of take a look at.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you can go click, click, and it zooms even further, and then click, click, and it zooms even further. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Other in your head just goes
it's like
enhancing.
Star Wars stuff. Yeah.
And I am going to say that I brought along with me, just to say that, let's go check this out together.
Take the security official off the station. Yes.
Suddenly, you guys can't get back on.
this is really upsetting him. Something was bothering him. So it seems like we should do a scan and see what's going on out here.
This is a darkness, I assume.
It's a darkness scene, yeah.
Okay. You can roll first if you want, and then like determine, and that can
How it
determine how you
goes.
role play. Like whether you, because we know as players, like I was just saying the tool to Twitch, we know as players that there's like some sort of alien
Can I
device
add
out here.
a dice my pool anytime by spending, or does it have to be like?
Yes,
So-
at any time you can spend your 2 coins.
So yeah,
Your
you
2
can
character
right
points.
now if you want. Just spend those 2 if you want to increase your personal pool, or you can like, that's fine if you want to do that.
Yeah, I want to increase real quick.
So yeah, just go ahead and burn them
I'm-
both.
And I'm spending my character point for our new item of the
Okay.
um,
Okay.
fancy
So you have
binoculars.
5 dice then. So it's 2
So
plus
my
2
max
plus
goes
the
from
item point.
2. Goes to 2 now.
Your max is at
Okay.
2 now. Yeah.
yeah. So I'll roll the 5 for the darkness, and you'll roll the 5 in opposition.
Okay.
I rolled like crap. I have 2 successes.
At 3.
So what happens when we fail?
Okay, so if you fail a darkness, you add a die to the darkness, and you add a manifestation. I think now would be the perfect time to add Sonrat's suggestion
Creeping shadows.
of the creeping shadow, as the 2 of you are out there and inexplicably, like this, like emerging from what we probably all thought was just some sort of like rocky pillar, right? This dark shadow just sweeps over you 2, just completely sweeps over you 2, and
All
it's
right,
like seems to
Haley.
be moving towards the station.
Said the commander saw something out here, so let's see what it is.
And so as we're kind of looking out, maybe you take east, I'll take west. And, as I'm looking out, I kind of call you over like, come quick. And I show you the moving shadow.
I don't see anything here, and then it starts seeping over me. Like, oh God, what?
We'll say you probably have like a rover or something that you like. It's probably not like you walk there. You probably were in a rover. But that's probably, so we don't have to spend any points on that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, okay.
And so you start, and then like Summer's like, it's starting to like sweep. It's almost like a wave of black ink, kind of. And so like the 2 of you like quickly get into the rover as like you just get washed over with this shadow that had actual tangibility to it. It wasn't
Can
just
I
light.
say that I suddenly feel warm?
Oh hell yeah, you can. Melissa's
I
having hot
suddenly feel
flashes.
warm.
I like it.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I like it. Okay.
All right, darkness scene over.
Okay, so that is so we've did you add the die to the darkness
I
pool?
did.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
We're
All
back
right,
up to 5.
excellent.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just got rid of it.
I know.
so how this works, it's push and pull. Long, you want to do something with the piggyback on that, or what? Or do we want me to do like an interlude back at the station? Do you want to do a follow up on that, or do you want me to go? Oh, look at
Trying to remember
Ashley
what-
dropping some gift subs. Look at all that.
So I can do darkness scenes and everything else. It's just like darkness scenes were added in this act.
So yeah, like your options are like this. There's always the story pillars. So the 3 story pillars are the body, the event, and the darkness. Okay. And so if you're looking to do an event, that means you're trying to like push forward the terraforming project. If you're looking to do the darkness, you're trying to like protect the town from whatever the hell is coming towards you now. If it's the body, it means you're specifically investigating something about the body. Or if you want to do something personal, you can either try to advance your personal goal or improve a relationship with somebody.
Right. Okay. I'll just follow up on this darkness situation then.
Okay, so another darkness
Scene.
scene. Okay.
Let's see. I think we'll just continue Haley in this as well. So on our way back to the station, I'll make preparations to like ready everyone that can help.
Maybe you guys are like literally driving the rover so fast to try and outrun like this creeping
Yes,
shadow.
looking behind us the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we'll just have people at the station set up to monitor this, make sure it doesn't get anywhere near.
You're on comms.
Did it briefly touch Haley, and that's why she's got a fever now?
Right.
Hey, the only cure. More cowbell.
It's more cowbell.
Spend a point to get a cowbell. Okay. So you're trying to like outpace the darkness and get on the comms and warn people like to be ready. All right. So you've got 4 dice from the 2 of you, and then you've got 5 versus 5 dice in the opposition. The only point I think any of us have left is Ashley's point. So right now it's a 4v5.
Okay. I think we'll roll it first.
Let's go. Let's do
Go
it. And yeah,
ahead.
then RP off that.
Boom. At 3.
I got also 3.
Is
I
that good?
forget who a tie goes to.
I also forget who a tie goes to.
Equal or greater. It says succeeded.
Okay, so it's a success. Perfect.
Succeed or remove a die from darkness.
Okay. You want me to do that?
Yeah, please.
Okay. All right. So then how does the scene, knowing that you succeeded at this, how does the scene play out?
So as we're rushing back on our rover back to the station, this darkness is like right on our tail. And we'll say we'll make it back, and then it suddenly like cuts off and doesn't overwhelm us. And that now we have like we'll succeed in, I guess, having the observation. We'll have securities and measure pretty much to watch it.
Okay. Sounds good. And you're on the comms, getting people, like getting your security. What was your freaking guy's
Thanks,
name?
Eric.
Eric, the security agent. Okay.
Would we include as part of that I would share my observation that when it hit me I felt warm? Like, can we include that as part of the information that we're sharing?
Yeah.
To try to help the darkness.
Yeah.
Like stay away from windows.
Don't
So
let
be on
it don't
comms.
let it touch you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric, we have an emergency. Stat, we need watches on this. There's a darkness chasing us.
Respect Eric's authority. Okay.
You can be Eric if you like to respond in comms.
What'd you say is chasing you?
It's unexplainable, but there's a thick darkness. You can see it if you look out.
I'm looking out. I don't really see much of anything out there. Just some shadows and such.
Yeah, I'll set on my exact coordinates, see if we can
Say,
better observe it.
hang on 1 second. Oh my God, what is that thing? Oh my. Oh, come on, boss. Come on. You got a dry fence coming right up on you. Oh man. What the hell is it? And he's like shouting, everybody like, what the hell is it out there? What am I supposed to do? What do you want me to do, boss? What do you want me to do?
Gather whoever you can. Get a watch team on this immediately.
Watch team. Okay. I got it. All right. I'm on it. You can count on me, boss. Click.
Can I do a real quick relationship scene?
Have you gone already?
Oh yeah, that's true. Sorry.
Yeah, I haven't actually gone yet in Act 2 yet, so I gotta go first before we do the second rounds. I think I'm gonna do an event scene. So I'm going to be in the science. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be in the science lab with Astrid. Melissa, you can play Astrid. As we're going through some data that we have been collecting from certain scans, I'm gonna say that Steph is there. We'll say that there was like a second, there's a second research assistant that I had in addition to Astrid, who's one of the people that is in your lab now, like overheating. And so
Okay.
I'll have you called over, and I'm just, I'm basically, you can see that Astrid and I are just kind of, we're running numbers. We're on computer terminals. We've got like the classic whiteboard up, and we're like, doing equations and things. and I see you walk in, and I'm literally just trying to like get out of you the notion that is this gonna like we're down so many people. Are we do we have enough people to run the machines? That's all I want to know. So like that's basically what's gonna be. Hey Aqua, how's it been? How you been? And so I'm just gonna as you come in I'm saying, Doctor, my assistant, what was his, Henry is, can he come back to work yet?
No.
No, okay. Listen, we are running perilously short of staff here. If we want the, I think you need to understand, if we want funding to continue our research here, if we want this project to go on, I need people to staff the machines. I can't even get in touch with Haley. I don't know where Bruce is. He's not picking up. Are there enough healthy people that we can send out onto the out to the plant to make sure everything's working properly? We finally
at least three, maybe 4.
I mean,
Thank
about
you,
half
Astrid.
the staff is currently showing signs of dehydration and rapid internal heating.
Then get them some Pedialyte, okay? We've been working on this for years. I have been on this station for 7 years.
If it was just dehydration, that would be a different thing. This is rapid heating of the body. The commander's corpse, he melted from the inside while in a freezer. There's something else happening here.
I've always
that's
said
not
he could
just
have
a
handled
flu.
the pressure here. Yes, there's something else happening here. We are taking our first and largest steps out into the greater universe. If we fail here, it's a setback for generations. We'll never be able to get this kind of foothold again. This is so important. I don't think you understand what's at stake here. A few dozen lives don't mean anything. This is humanity that's at stake. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll it, and then
depending, I'll be like, we have about half who can.
Okay. So I'm gonna go
Lunar Pedialyte.
Lunar Pedialyte. Just give
moon
them some
juice.
moon pies.
Some moon pies.
So I think, how many do you have? You have 2, right?
I'm worth 2.
Yeah. So it's only 4v5, unless you wanted to spend your point. 'Cause I don't
Yeah,
have
I'll
any points.
spend it for the event.
Do we want to add a worker, like somebody else, like that's a new NPC, somebody to replace Bruce?
Yes.
Okay. Melissa, who's another person who works on the terraforming? Somebody who isn't as smart as you or Bruce, but it's like, they'll do. Gina. Okay.
I like it.
All right.
She sounds like
So Gina's going to be our other option. So it's 5v5. So I'll go ahead and roll the 5 for pro, and you'll roll the 5 for opposition. Ashley.
Got it.
Oh God, I'm rolling such trash.
Ooh,
Oh, but it's okay. It's 1-1. It's 1-1.
It is.
And so you succeed.
Okay.
Woo.
Oh my God, we were terrible, Ashley. We just rolled 10
That's my
D6s.
worst roll tonight. I've been rolling pretty well too.
That's the
so
first
it's good.
success I think I rolled. I failed the last time I rolled. Okay, so I'm gonna say I just need anyone who knows the base understanding of the machine out there. I can tell them everything else they need. It's just a few buttons. Haley has already done the work.
I'll get Gina put up in a hazmat suit, so she'll stay hopefully unsick.
Thank you. That is all I ask. Thank you. Now, we have work to do. We have so much work to do. And you can see he's just going to start like patting his head a little bit. So much work to do. And he starts kind of like looking around, and just for a moment in the lab, you see like he's got probably like little Bunsen burns and stuff. The flames kind of move a little bit, and the shadows kind of start to shift in ways that are a little bit kind of like, they kind of look kind of weird for a minute, but then they settle. Yes. Oh, okay. Off with you. Back to your herd, your sheep. We have work to do. Astrid, over here. I think I finally solved it. And then he's just going to immediately ignore you and get back to the board. Okay. Last round. Melissa, you had something in mind. You ready?
Yeah, I want to work on the relationships because we still have all negative relationships. So kind of right on the heels of the last scene with Haley and Connor coming back from the terraforming machinery. I basically just want to kind of give him some kudos that we seem to have found ourselves in the middle of quite the situation with, no help anywhere around. And I think you're doing a fantastic job. You're, standing up to Walter and letting him know that our lives are more important than this deadline. And I think you're doing a great job. And we're going to figure this out. And I'm glad that we have your leadership. So I'm just trying to
Yes, I appreciate
keep.
that. With a commander gone,
Sorry, this is Jeff's going leadership. This country
Walter.
bumpkin who has an office that's a broom closet. That's where we put our mopping equipment. Pine saw. It's got a very distinct smell of pine saw, but yes, leadership. Been here 7 years.
I've got 2. You've got 2, so it's 4v5, I think.
yeah.
All right, so I will roll 4. How did I do? That looks bad.
So does that.
Is that a nothing to nothing?
Nothing to nothing.
That's a nothing, a
Oh, wow.
nothing.
That's still a fail,
Well-
though. That's a fail because you didn't have.
Yeah.
You have to get at least one success.
Okay, but I still get a. I still get a character.
You
point,
get a
right?
character. You get a character point, but he doesn't get anything.
All right, I will take that character point because we can use that later. Okay.
Yeah, and your relationship doesn't change.
No, unfortunately.
Bummer.
All right, who's up next?
Okay. Ashley Long. Either of you got something?
Yeah, I'll try to repair your relationship with Walter.
Okay. Where do you want this scene to take place? He's been
That'll
talking
be-
so much shit about you.
I'll head to your lab where you're always
Okay.
found.
Okay. Meanwhile, I've got a comm unit. I'm talking to Gina, who's out at the station. When you show up.
Walter, I see you're busy as always.
Yes. What do you want? Whatever. What was your name again? Whatever. It's fine.
Well, you see, we've found a little bit of situations of weird darkness falling upon the site.
Darkness. We're in space. There's darkness everywhere. Yes, Gina. Make sure that that valve 2 is only 3/4 of the way open. Is
Right,
there
you're
something to this visit?
Right, you're a smart man, and I can't explain.
Smart
will
man. A
Will
smart
you
man.
understand?
My junior high algebra teacher was a smart man. You don't you don't know the half of it.
But I get that we need to move this operation along, and you've been pushing it behind the scenes while I guess I haven't really been following. And now that I see the situation we're in, I think we have to get this done and get these people out of here.
Okay, why don't we roll it? Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got 2 from me,
Yep,
so
two.
2
I
from
feel as
you.
well, so it'll
So
be
45. Okay. All right, I got the 5.
I got 1.
Of course, now I roll well.
Oh god.
So he said, "Get the people out of here. You out of your mind? We need people operating the machinery 24 hours a day. No. When this test succeeds, as I know it will, all it means is we're gonna send more people here, and we're gonna make sure that this moon is our lifeboat. And then even more will come, and we'll treat it as a whole new start to humanity. No, you country bumpkin. This is just the beginning. Just the beginning. Yes. So he starts to
Connor will remember that.
Okay. All right. So that's unfortunately a fail on that relationship. We both tried to repair our relationships
tried.
and we failed both times. So it's not for lack of trying.
Oh.
Okay. You still do get your point though, because you tried at least.
Alright, nice.
All right, Ashley. We're nearing the end, so our 2 scenes really got to make sure we're steering it towards the end. So if you're ready, go for it.
I think I'm gonna do a darkness scene. And 75% of the entire place, people are sweating profusely, sick. I've actually started to lose people. We have about 10 dead. Bruce is dead. And he...
Bruce is dead?
Yeah. Bruce, just like everybody, before they start to die, they like rapidly get up and try running to the freezer because they're just so hot and they can't handle it anymore. And they also start to like try and claw their skin off. So like I'm trying to like contain people and stop that and
Okay.
get people held down.
So you're setting your scene at the mess hall then?
Yes,
Okay.
because basically my scene at this point is Bruce already died and a few other people ran in with him and they're also trying to claw their skin off.
Okay.
And Judith and I are trying to stop that from happening.
Okay, so you want Judith there instead of Dorothy the cook. Okay, sounds good. And what PC do you want there? You get a free one since this is a darkness scene. You get a free one.
Let's say Connor is there. Like he's just eating and he sees us come tearing in after people as they're desperately clawing at the freezer trying to get in. And Judith and I are shouting. We're trying to restrain them. Judith has sedatives, and it's not working because their body temperature is running so hot. And so we're trying to physically restrain them. So I'm yelling for him to come help us. Too bad all the food. But
If
yeah,
this
should I
works,
roll?
We don't need food. Yeah, go ahead.
So what? 2 for me. You have just 1 long?
I have 2.
You have 2? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm rolling 4 versus you roll 5. So long
Ooh,
has
it's a tie.
3. Oh no, and I have 3. So I get a success. So I remove a die from the darkness. And let's say my success is Connor actually helps hold one person back from like clawing their face off, because maybe that's actually what killed him, was the blood loss that he suffered from, and maybe not necessarily just yet burning up from the inside. So there's hope of helping people.
I've got him restrained now. What's going on?
Don't let any liquids get in your face, please. Oh God. And Judith, get the gloves. And Judith has this other lady in a headlock, and I'm like, never mind, I'll get the gloves. Don't hit them, Judith. Don't hit them.
What? Oh God. Oh, I'm sorry. I got so excited.
And like poor Bruce is just laying there, like his face. Oh, yeah, but that's the scene.
Okay.
Just help us get him back to the med bay. Let's go. We'll bring the people who aren't as sick here, and I'll watch here, and Judith will stay here. I'll be there. And like it's just a mess.
All right, so final scene. This is gonna be with Haley. This is gonna be an event scene because that's all Walter cares about, and something's not like we've started the preliminary warming up of the machines at the terraforming station. Gina is out there. Something's not going right, and Walter is convinced that she's screwing it up. And so I'm going to say this is a scene, we'll call it the science lab, but I would beseech Haley, Melissa, in this case, to maybe burn that point to add a second location as the terraforming platform. What I'm trying to do now is like we're like staring out, like I'm imagining the science lab has a viewport window, and that looks out towards this giant monstrosity of a like terraforming equipment that's way out there, and we both see that the equipment is like that big, huge, enormous, like industrial site is just kind of being overwhelmed by like the shadows that have been pushing out from whatever the hell place. And I am trying to convince Haley that you and I need to get in a rover and get to this terraforming station. If we don't get there, your stupid, unprepared, delinquent assistant is going to ruin everything. So that's what I'm after here. Okay? I don't care about shadows.
What am I spending the point on?
So adding a second location, the idea that we can take another location, or we can say like there's we can actually finally add the point for a rover or something like that as an item. So the idea is
we could do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to hold on to it to the end to get an extra die.
This is just for another. This would give us another die. Like if it works out in the wash, doesn't it?
Yeah, the
if we
2
succeed.
coins give us 1 die toward the final confrontation.
Oh, okay. All right, well, we can roll the dice. That's fine. If you just, if you don't want, our life's work to actually go off, I would figure if anybody understands, it's you, Haley. You've been here almost as long as me. That entire look at it. Look at what we did. We are going to save humanity. We are pushing forward into the stars. We are dragging them, kicking and screaming from the filth that Earth has become. If we don't get out there now, if we don't make sure that this test is a success, if we don't make sure that our terraforming efforts here on Drop D Station, we will never get another chance. It will be years, decades, we'll both be long dead.
Fine, I got it.
Okay. Yeah, you've got debts, I know you do. I see the way your pupils are dilated. How many stims have you taken today, Haley? How many? He's like, so he's getting really upset. Okay, so do you want to spend the point?
Sure.
Okay. You don't have to. It's your point.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, Walter's eyes start to... You realize Walter used to have green eyes. Why are they all black now? Okay, so
5v5.
5v5. Here we go. Oh, God, I am rolling such trash tonight. Holy goodness.
4 successes on the opposition roll.
So that's a no. That's a... Or either you... Like you said you agreed, and so maybe we just don't make it. Like we get cut off from the station. I convinced you, but we
You guys get stranded out on the rover.
but we're driving out, but we see as like the shadow begins to sort of it envelops the entire terraforming thing. Like it creates like a moat, this massive moat around it, and it just cuts off and we just can't get there. And so we are out on the surface of this moon trying to get there, and we just can't find a way in. So that's a fail
Confrontation.
on the event. So the event failure is remove a die from the event, unfortunately. Okay, we ready? You got up the rules,
yeah.
Melissa?
Yep, I do.
Okay.
So each player
Walk us
chooses
through.
whether they'll focus on the event or the darkness during the final confrontation.
Okay.
And so then based on that choice, you contribute your individual dice pool to either holding the event or combating the darkness, or you can do a splitsies if you have more than 1 die.
Okay. I'm going to build the pools beneath each of the boxes. So Walter's going to spend his on the event, obviously. So I'm going to put my 2 die there. Ashley, do you have an idea?
I'm going to spend both of mine on the darkness.
Okay. You got it. You move your stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Melissa? Haley?
I'm going to spend both of mine on the event.
That's right. That's right.
Um,
I'll move it for you since you got the sheet
yeah.
open. I got it for you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Long.
Long,
Yeah,
what are you
mine
thinking?
towards darkness.
Yeah, it felt like we had a pretty clear split.
We had, 2 different games we were playing.
I liked it. It's good. It makes sense.
We do not have a pair of character points, so we can't do anything with those. So now we also have to come up with an opposition pool against the event by counting up all of the negative relationship dice that we still have in play between the players.
So 4.
4.
So we are essentially going to have an 8v4
right.
for the event.
I'll go ahead and create that pool just to keep... Okay. we're good with event.
And then split any dice still on the body pillar card between the darkness pool and the event opposition pool.
Okay. Well, I think we could just put on the darkness. I think the event has enough.
Yeah. Well, it's the event's opposition pool, so.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we take.
Yeah,
that extra
doesn't the 4 that was in the event apply to us, or is that against us?
So the event is any dice that were on the event card plus dice contributed by the players against the opposition pool, which is the 4 occult dice.
Okay.
All right, so we got it backwards. We have 8 die in favor of the event.
8 in favor.
Yes.
And 4
4
against.
against.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so we got it
So
backwards.
it would be fine to put the 1 from the body over into the against, because then it'll just be an 8v5.
Okay. And so right now it's what? 4. It's 4 pro. It's 4 against the
8,
darkness.
4.
And no, I'm talking about the darkness pool. The darkness pool right now.
Yeah.
Is,
I haven't
We
gotten there.
have
Okay.
4 positive. Yeah.
First, we hold the event.
well, no. I mean, like we have to decide where we're gonna put this die. So like, what's our current total dice situation for the darkness before we make a call on that one die?
So the confront the darkness by using the darkness resolution pool, which is any dice contributed by players, against the darkness pool, which is the
The
dice
3.
that were remaining on the pillar, and if we added any from the body.
I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
It's basically what it was before. So it's the number on the card versus any that were
Okay.
contributed.
So it's 4v3. Okay, so yeah, let's put it into the event thing then. So it'll be 8v. So it'll be 8 good
Versus
event
5.
versus 5 bad event. 4
Yeah.
good darkness versus 3 bad darkness.
Yes. Yep.
So
Okay.
Jeff, do you want to roll the event pro and
Okay.
I'll roll the event con?
Sounds good. All right, so I got 8. I've been rolling trash all night, so this is probably a bad idea, but okay. I've got looks like 1, 2,
4.
3, 4 successes versus 3.
Got it.
3.
Yes.
All right, you did it, Clutch.
Nice work.
All right. And then who's rolling darkness for and against?
Do you want to do
I'll
4
do
or against?
opposition.
Okay, so I'll roll 4, you roll 3. So I have 3.
Got 2.
Nice.
that one as well.
So we beat the darkness too.
Wow. Okay. So how do we want to narrate this at the end? Like how do we resolve this knowing that we'll say at some point as one of the things I would think Haley and Walter we're driving around, we're looking, and we finally do like some reckless gambit where we just like we try to leap, use the rover to drive up and just leap. We pull an Armageddon and we just sort of float for a while and then smash into the side of the terraforming stuff, like ejecting at the last second and like climbing in, and we start like pulling levers, checking gauges, going through the science, and the equipment begins to go off. How does the darkness play out, Ashley? Long.
I think how the darkness is going to play out is I remember some obscure thing that I read in some survival book about how people deal with like hypothermia and start treating people for being cold instead of actually being hot, and that helps counteract whatever's happening and put people into like medically induced comas so they're not freaking out until the fever wears off, and then everybody's fine.
Nice.
Everyone's fine because when the darkness touches people, they're convinced they want to go to the freezer because the freezer has something the darkness wanted or was afraid of. And I
Okay.
finally got that. It was just potatoes.
Oh.
Jeez. If you can indulge me, I feel like we have like one post-credit scene.
Okay.
If you guys would indulge me.
Yes.
It's later after everyone's celebrating and like mourning the loss of dead, and it's kind of dark. There's a flickering light as the power has been kind of drained a little bit from the events that have happened, and in the science lab there's Walter and Astrid, and like Astrid like comes over and suddenly her eyes kind of black over, and she says something along the lines of like, now that the machines are working, we can move to second phase. And Walter's just like, yes, yes, of course, second phase, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. And so she's got like this alien face, like she's been an alien this whole time or something.
Ooh. And Father comes in over the intercom. Second phase initiated.
And everyone's in the mess hall, and all of a sudden the door's just closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Power cuts out.
The power
Boom.
cuts out.
End scene.
As it. Okay. Tune in for the sequel. Okay. Where it's Open D station. Okay. Awesome. That's the second time we've got a full victory. I didn't think we'd get a full victory on that one. It was looking really
That's
bad for a while.
awesome. I like how it's a full victory, but it still is just sounds bad.
We terraformed the station. Everything's fine.
we got aliens among us.
We improved
they helped
zero
us.
relationships.
Sus.
I know.
Yeah.
That just did not work out at all. Long and I tried. It just didn't work out. It just did not work out at all. So that's fine. All right, cool. Like, this is a fun game. If you've not played it before, it's by Monkey Fun Studios. I'll drop a link here. See if that works. There it goes. So there's a link over the drive-thru if you want to grab it there. There's also, I think, some physical products or print on demand maybe you can do. But it's a really tiny little book. It's really fun. If you like GM-less gaming, if you like games that are kind of mystery and you sort of build as you go, like we built everything from scratch this time. We didn't have anything that we were going on, and it took us, 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. We're getting a little bit more efficient with this game, I think, as we're kind of getting the mechanics down a little bit. So thanks for those of you who hung out, watched. Thanks for those of you who helped. We tried to include as many of your suggestions as possible, especially those darkness manifestations were really good.
Yeah, they had some cool ideas.
Like the shadows and whatnot was really good. And then Too Old to Twitch had those good details about like insomnia and heating and stuff like that. Everything was kind of working out really nice. So definitely appreciate that. All right. So coming up, coming up on the channel, let's see what we got going on. So first of all, tomorrow night over on, I think we're going to be on Steam Steel Murder. You can catch myself and a few others as we're playing through some Shadowrun. We're starting up a new chapter in Shadowrun. We've been doing a little project where we play different rule sets for different adventures, and so come check that out. So that's Steam Steel Murder. Then on our own channel, every other Monday, not this coming Monday, but the following Monday, we're going to be we're continuing on our Alien campaign. So if you like space sci-fi, come watch our Alien campaign. We've got about 10 or 11 episodes in the tank so far. We're doing a campaign.
It's been so good.
It is crazy. We have been constantly on the verge of a TPK for like the last 2 or 3 sessions. It's just it's intense.
I'm trying.
Me too. But the other big thing is that we play on Free League Publishing channel. So if you're unfamiliar with Free League Publishing, they're mostly known for the Year Zero engine. If you're a purveyor of Kickstarter, they're also doing the One Ring Kickstarter right now. So they let a bunch of different folks play on their channel, and so we play on every other Monday night. So on the opposite nights of our Alien game, including this coming Monday, you're going to catch us over on twitch.tv/Free League Publishing, where we're going to be starting up a brand new Things from the Flood game set in 1992, angsty teens in a sleepy desert town, and all sorts of weird stuff's happening. So if you're a Twin Peaks fan, if you like the podcast Welcome to Night Vale, those are definitely influences for what we're going to be doing. So that'll be 9 Central on Monday, in a couple days. And then later this month, or later next month, I should say, March, I think it's the 19th, we're going to be starting up a Delta Green game. And everyone you see on the screen will be in that game as we're going to be working on that. We're going to be working through the Impossible Landscapes campaign. So lots of cool stuff going on. So Steam Steel Murder, Sonrat, I think we're doing like a PBTA Shadowrun. I don't
Is
remember.
it still Coriolis or?
No, Coriolis that's a Year Zero game. You're thinking of Cortex. Cortex is a while back. We've moved on from Cortex. But yeah, I think we're doing like a PBTA, but flavored for Shadowrun. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and throw us on a little end screen. We're going to raid our friends. I'm pretty sure the Defenders are probably up and running, so we're going to give them a raid. So if you want to hang out for a moment, I'll go ahead and get the raid going. But come check us out Monday night on Free League Publishing and help build a little sandbox with us, because that's what we kind of did tonight. We're going to be doing that again on Monday, and it's going to be even bigger. There's going to be even more stuff we're going to be doing. So I definitely like kind of involving the chat and that kind of stuff. It gives us some cool ideas.
gonna do world building with the green Delta, right?
Delta Green, nope, that's a different
Or
one.
Delta Green.
You'll do some character creations, but that's a little different. So,
Gotcha.
good night, everybody. I'm going to put us on the end screen. Just hang tight, and the raid will keep going, and
Thanks,
we'll catch you
everybody.
later. Bye-bye.
Thanks for hanging.